The next and the last function is a string aggregator. String aggregator will concatenate all the input values into a single string, and all those values will be separated by a delimiter. Delimiter is a symbol which you will mention, and this symbol will segregate the input values of the string. The syntax for string aggregation is string underscore agg, and then you mention the expression. This will contain the strings, or it will contain the column name, comma, the delimiter. Delimiter usually is a comma. You can have space, you can have tabs, you can have any other special symbol. Note that string aggregator is also concatenating strings. But what is the difference between a string aggregator and the concat operator? When we used concat, it concatenated strings of different columns for a single record. For example, we concatenated city, state, and country for each customer. Whereas string aggregator will be used to concatenate all values in a column. So for different records, there will be different values in that column. All those different values can be aggregated using the string aggregator function. Let us look at this using an example. If you remember from the sales table, in the sales table there are different rows for each order, and each order had different products. So with the same order ID, there will be multiple rows, and in these different rows there will be different product IDs. Basically, the customer has ordered within a single order different products. If you want to find out what are the products in each order ID, so we'll first group the orders by order ID, and within every order ID, we'll aggregate the different product IDs, and we'll separate these with a comma. This is the syntax: select order ID, comma, string aggregator, the product ID separated by comma from sales table grouped by order IDs. Let's go and see in the PG admin. Let us first do a select star on the sales table just to so that I'll show you there are different order IDs and product IDs which are taking up different rows in the table. So you can see this second and third row, the order ID is same, but this row is different because the product ID is different. So I want to find out for each order ID what are the products ordered. To do that, I'll group it by the order ID, and against each order ID I'll have the product IDs concatenated. Let's see. Select order ID and string underscore agg. This column is to be aggregated separated by comma space. Comma space. From the sales table grouped by the order ID. Let's order it also by the order ID and run it. So you can see in the sales table there were multiple entries of the same order ID. Here we have grouped it, so it will be a single entry for each order ID, and against that order ID you will see the different products. So this second order ID has two products separated by a comma. If you go down, you will find several order IDs with more than two products also. So you can see we have concatenated values in different rows of the same column. The column was product ID. So we have concatenated values in different rows. So this is what string aggregator function does. That is all for the string functions. In the next section, we will look at mathematical functions.